Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing so far? It is your boy. It is your boy, Brother Ricky, and I'm happy to be here with you guys on P Stars Radio. The time is now 10:37 a.m. Happy to be here. I'm happy to be here, man. Want to get started and jump right into this. I want to ask you guys, how you guys doing? How you guys doing so far? I want to make sure you guys are doing well. I want to make sure you guys are starting off with a good weekend, right? I want to ask you guys how your mental, physical, and your spiritual health is doing for you so far, right? Because these things are important, and I want to make sure that you guys are doing what you can to manage and take care of these things as much as possible, all right? So I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you guys are having a wonderful start of your weekend. I hope you guys are relaxing, cooling off, hanging with friends, family, so on and so forth, all right? All right, so here we go with this, with today's show. We're going to hop right into the NFL. Look, the NFL, what's going on in the NFL right now is nothing short of a, should I say, a great start, I should say, right? I think it's a great start for this season's NFL, for this year's NFL. The very match that took me by surprise was the first match of the season with, well, not the first, I think it was the second match of the season between the Bills. No, that wasn't the second match either. It was around maybe like the second week of the start of the season, or the third week. I think it was the second week. But the game that I'm referring to, all right, the game that I am referring to is the game between the Bills and the Ravens. That was a very, very good start, at least in my opinion. Close game, 1-point game between the Bills and the Ravens. Again, it was 41 for the Bills, and the Ravens had 40. And so again, like I brought up before, that was a very interesting or fun startup for that match for both respective teams. I just learned from a customer, because I hear things from a lot of people, right? And it was regarding the Bills. It was so crazy what I heard with the Bills. I forgot how long ago it was. I think it was in the 1980s, if I'm not mistaken. 1980s or the 1990s, where the Bills had a back-to-back appearance in the NFL Super Bowl. A back-to-back appearance, right? If I'm not mistaken. Either it was the NFL Super Bowl during that time, or the playoffs to the Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills. And each time they made a comeback. Now that I'm saying, I'm convinced it was the Super Bowl, but each time they made it back to the Super Bowl, right? Back-to-back comebacks in the Super Bowl. They lost each and every single one. Each and every single one. The Bills lost each and every single comeback to the Super Bowl that year. Again, I think it was the 1980s, if I'm not mistaken. A customer told me this. 1980s, 1986, I believe, somewhere around that time, where the Bills made a four-time comeback to the Super Bowl, and they lost all four. All four. Imagine that, man. Imagine. You can only imagine going to the Super Bowl and making a comeback 4 times to lose each and every single one of them. That's got to be crazy. And I heard another terrible news that I don't think I want to bring up, but somebody, unfortunately, you know, in that team during that time, there was a player. I'm not sure I remember who the player was or who the player's name is, but the individual player that played for the Buffalo Bills that time, unfortunately, because they kept losing so many of their comebacks to the Super Bowl that time, or that period, eventually unalived themselves, right? I hope that's not something that'll you know, get me punished on Facebook or YouTube, but that person eventually, you know, deleted themselves during that time when the Buffalo Bills played, after they had their 4-time comeback. That's gotta suck, man. That's definitely gotta suck. So to see the Buffalo Bills defeat the Ravens, their first matchup going up against the Ravens that time with a 1-point win, man, listen, it's crazy. It's crazy. That matchup itself alone was crazy with the 1-point game difference, 41-40 with the Ravens. So to start off the season in the NFL, that is crazy, and that is a very exciting match to see. So hopefully we can continue to see some more competition between these two teams as they come back to facing each other again during the regular season of the NFL, right? But that's the matchup for the Bills and the Ravens for the second week. If I'm not mistaken, the second week of the NFL for the regular season. The rest of the games so far, we got a lot of heat with the NFL. We got a lot of these teams doing their thing. I want to mention the Green Bay Packers. So, like I brought up before the season started, the Green Bay Packers received Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys, right, in their trade. And I think they made a good decision. Because, again, I'm not too familiar with this individual player, Micah Parsons, but supposedly this man is a beast on the field. Nothing short of that. And his contributions to his latest 2 games, one going up against the Detroit Lions and 2 going up against the Washington Commanders, I believe Thursday, is proof of that, right? It's definitely proof of that. And so that's the latest 2 games for the Green Bay Packers was outright monstrous, for lack of better terms, right? Monstrous. And they look like, every game they had before that, even in the preseason. Granted, preseason is what it is, right? The preseason, we leave that there. But every single game coming to the regular season of the NFL looks to be blowout games with these guys, man. Blowout games. So again, with their last 2 recent matchups, again, the Detroit Lions, they defeated these guys with 27 points, while the Lions had 13. And then the Thursday match going up against the Washington Commanders was, again, another 27-point win, while the Commanders finished off with 18. Now, this game, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of, how can I say this? I was kind of expecting the Washington Commanders to, go crazy on the Packers, considering that they have Jaden Daniels. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Jaden Daniels is undergoing a surgery. He did get injured. Or did I say surgery? I take that back. Not a surgery, but an injury, if I'm not mistaken. Granted with Jaden Daniels being a part of the group, being a part of the team, he's still just on his second year, right? His second year in the NFL. So I don't want to put too much. Should I say I don't want to put too much high of an expectation, because last year he performed phenomenally, so close to helping the Washington Commanders make it all the way to the Super Bowl, right? But unfortunately, they lost to the Chiefs that year, right? So I don't want to keep putting too high of a standard for Jaden Daniels, but yeah, man, with Michael Parsons playing with the Green Bay Packers, it probably may not have made too much of a difference, at least in my opinion. But nonetheless, the Packers still defeated the Commanders anyways, ending again with a 27 win, while the Commanders finished off with 18. So a lot of interesting things to see in the NFL. Listen, let me know what you guys what your thoughts are for this prediction for the NFL. I gave my prediction, right? I gave my prediction early on before the start of the season, right? Where I made the bold prediction that the Eagles are going to run it all the way back to the Super Bowl. Now, you all may think I'm crazy, all right? You all might think that I am crazy. Ricky, what do you mean the Eagles are going all the way back to the playoffs? I don't know, but that is just my predictions. They did start off very good as well. The Eagles started off very good. They're the first team to start off the season for the NFL, right? Yeah, they're the first teams to start off the very first game of the NFL season to go up against the Cowboys. And we already know what happened with that game, right? We already know what happened with the Eagles going up against the Cowboys. And so, granted, we're still early in the season, right? We're not even halfway. We're not even halfway into the season of the NFL. But, again, it still gives me the confidence to make that prediction that the Eagles are going back again. Now, I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong with that assumption. Auntie, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. You are one of the best that I know. Mom, thanks for tuning in as well. I really appreciate you guys' support. You guys are great. And I love you guys. I love you guys as per usual. But yeah, so it's early in the season. So my predictions with the Eagles going to the Super Bowl is too early. But please feel free to let me know what your predictions are. Who do you think is going to make an appearance for this upcoming year NFL Super Bowl? I want to know. I want to have this discussion with you guys. I want to see where your headspace is at, where your mind is at, and what your predictions are when it comes to which NFL team is going to make it to this year's NFL Super Bowl. I want to know. But my predictions are the Eagles. But that's just me, all right? So that's that for the NFL. And then for the WNBA, ladies and gentlemen, again, like I brought it before last Saturday, we have now reached the standoffs of standoffs for this year's WNBA playoffs. That's right, I said it. We are now officially about to get set to start this year's WNBA playoffs, which will be taking place tomorrow, Sunday, with, let's see, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Phoenix Mercury. Yeah, so the Phoenix Mercury will have the floor to match up against the New York Liberty for the start of the WNBA playoffs again tomorrow. Now, for those of you who are not aware, last year's WNBA champions were the New York Liberty. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. The New York Liberty are the ones who were last year's WNBA champions. And so now it seems to be the case that they have a potential opportunity to make a comeback or to run it back all over again to have the chance to win the WNBA Finals championship for a second year. This could potentially be a 2-year in a row WNBA championship. There's potential here, right? The playoffs hasn't started yet and it's going to start tomorrow, but this could potentially be an opportunity for the New York Liberty to have another chance at another finals chip. Who knows? But they are going to be met with a lot of competition. Make no mistake, all right? Make no mistake, they have competition in their hands because they got teams like the Las Vegas Aces that are in this year's NBA playoffs, not NBA, but WNBA playoffs. They have teams like the Minnesota Lynx that are in this year's WNBA playoffs as well, right? They also have the Indiana Fever that are making their appearance in this year's playoffs. Like, they got these teams coming in, and they're coming in with a lot of heat. Because, again, this is the playoffs where it's go big or go home. Go big or go home. I don't know if they're playoffs. The thing that I'm a bit unaware of or unsure of is I don't know if their playoffs or their setup for the playoffs is the same as the NBA. Because for the NBA, every playoffs and finals match, it's a 7-series matchup. So 7 games, right? And for those 7 games, it's a best 4 out of 3, right? It's a 4 out of 3 game. So whoever has the most wins is a team that advances deeper into the playoffs, which eventually leads to the finals. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I might have to take a look into it to see how it goes for the WNBA, but they may or may not have a 7 series. I don't think so. But it may be less than that, but I don't think they have a 7 series matchup in the WNBA the same way that they have it in the NBA. So it might be different. Again, I'll have to look into that, but again, we got some really good teams here, and some players that I, for one, am interested to see playing in this year's WNBA playoffs. You got players like A'ja Wilson, right? A'ja Wilson, who is nothing short of a hooper. I can't reiterate this enough. I cannot stress this enough. A'ja Wilson is a baller. Ladies and gentlemen, A'ja Wilson is a baller. Straight hooper. And you got players, again, like Napheesa Collier, another hooper for the Minnesota Lynx. Napheesa Collier, again, a hooper. And I'm talking about in the WNBA, from the stance of the WNBA, right? I'm strictly keeping it there because, again, this is the women's sports, right? This is the sports for the women's side. I'm not saying she's like a hooper compared to, like, the guys. I don't want the twists in terms of my words to be taken out of proportion. This is strictly for the WNBA. In the WNBA sense, for the WNBA alone, Napheesa Collier is a hooper. Nothing short of that. Players like Napheesa, players like A'ja Wilson, Caitlin Clark. I'm not sure if Caitlin will be performing in this year's WNBA playoffs with the Indiana Fever because that is the team that she plays for. So I'm not sure if she will be in attendance for this year's WNBA playoffs. Let me find that out. Hold on. Yeah, so it seems like Caitlin Clark will not be playing for this year's WNBA playoffs. So she will not be in attendance to play with the Indiana Fever as they go up against the Atlanta Dream. So it's due to, if I'm not mistaken, an injury that she has suffered. I'm not exactly sure what the injury is. I believe it's injury torpedoes. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what her injuries are, but she won't be playing for this year's WNBA playoffs, and so that leaves the Indiana Fever to, should I say, fend for themselves. I mean, I'm sure they have very talented players on that team as well, all right? I'm sure they have talented players in the Indiana Fever, but that does give them a huge disadvantage, right? Or that does decrease their chances of advancing into the WNBA playoffs, considering that they're going against the Atlanta Dreams. So, listen, we can only wait and see what we're going to be dealing with come the WNBA playoffs, which starts again tomorrow. So we'll only have to sit back, wait and see what the matchups look like. But until then, my sights are set on between two teams, and two teams alone. And that is the Las Vegas Aces and the Minnesota Lynx. I might take that back. 3 teams. The Las Vegas Aces, the Minnesota Lynx, and New York Liberty. These are the 3 teams that I think will have a better chance at advancing all the way to the finals, all right? So these are the 3 teams, right, that have a better chance. So again, we'll just have to wait and see what it looks like. But until then, strap your belts, strap on into your seats, get ready, because we are in for a ride for this year's WNBA playoffs all the way to the WNBA finals, all right? So stay tuned for that. And finally, I'll get into the U.S. Tennis Open run. So for the U.S. Tennis Open run, it appears to be the case that Carlos Alcaraz has officially defeated Jannik Sinner to win this year's title. And this is not just his first title. This is his 6th major title that he has been awarded for this year's U.S. Tennis Open run. So congratulations to Carlos Alcaraz, who's received his title in defeating Jannik Sinner for the title, for this year's title for the U.S. Tennis Open run. So this is extremely amazing for Alcaraz. I believe the matchup results for that game is okay. Premier's hard court players. Right, so 6-2, 3-6, 6-1, 6-4. Those are the concluding scores for each set for the matchup between Alcaraz and Sinner. And these guys are young players, man. Young players, young individual talents who are performing on big stages such as this. And again, this guy is not, this guy doesn't seem to be a stranger in winning titles like the way that he's winning now. Again, this is his 6th major title. 6th. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4, 5, but his 6th major title that he has won. Again, these guys are very talented. So congratulations to Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner. Again, these guys are young. This guy's 22, or no, Alcaraz is 22. Jannik Sinner is 24 years old. Young players. I don't think it's going to stop there for him. I think he's going to continue to, keep performing and keep striving for the titles that he's seeking out within his career in tennis. But congratulations to Alcaraz in winning his 6th major title for his U.S. Tennis Open run. So that's what it's looking like right there for that. And I'm going to get into the verse of the day. And our verse will be in Titus chapter 2, verses 13 through 14. Again, our verse of the day will come from Titus chapter 2, verses 13 through 14. Verset nap li, c'est dans Tite chapitre 2, verset 13 à 14. Encore verset ap sorti dans Tite chapitre 2, verset 13 à 14. Allow me to begin reading for you. And it reads, "While we wait for the blessed hope, the appearing of the glory of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ, who gave himself for us to redeem us from all wickedness and to purify for himself a people that are his very own, eager to do what is good." Please allow me to read that for you one more time. And it reads, "While we wait for the blessed hope, the appearing of the glory of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ, who gave himself for us to redeem us from all wickedness and to purify for himself a people that are his very own, eager to do what is good." Kounyamba li verset pour nous en créole. C'est comme ça, li moutwe nous pour nous vivre pendant notre bénédiction, li te promet nous yo. Le bel pouvoir Jésus-Christ, bon Dieu nous avec délivrance nous, va apparaître. Il te accepté mourir pour nous, pour il te délivrer nous en bas méchanceté, pour il te faire nous tourner un peuple qui n'a condition pour servir, qui est li parler, et puis qui toujours paraît pour faire ça qui bien. Bon li verset pour nous yon dernière fois encore. C'est comme ça li montre nous pour nous vivre pendant naptan bénédiction li te promet nous yo. Les belles pouvoirs Jésus-Christ bon Dieu nous avec délivrance nous va apparaître. Il était accepté pour mourir pour nous pour lui te délivrer nous en bas méchanceté pour lui te faire nous tourner un peuple qui dans condition pour servir qui est li par li et puis qui toujours paraît pour faire ça qui bien. So with this verse, it's a matter of time and patience that the Lord is it's a matter of time and patience that we have on waiting for the Lord, right? Waiting for God to appear before us, waiting for God to return and receive us as his people, right? Because in the times that we're living in right now, make no mistake, we are living in a time of wickedness. Make no mistake. We are living in a time of wickedness. We are living in the end times. We are living in a time where good is looked upon as evil and evil is looked upon as good. This is what it is. This is what the Bible references in the book when it lets us know what times are going to look like when Jesus is coming, when Jesus is getting closer and closer to coming back. And I bring this up because just recently, I'm not sure how familiar everybody is with sticking with the news and, watching the news, but an individual by the name of Charlie Kirk has been assassinated, right? He was a conservative activist, a debater, right? Somebody who appears upon many college campuses to debate students and professors and people alike, right? And so understand that regardless of your political views, regardless of how you view the world, regardless of what you agree with or disagree with, nobody should be killed or assassinated the way that he was. And what's worse, what's extremely heartbreaking and what's extremely unfortunate is that you have people that are celebrating his death, people that are celebrating his assassination, right? Now, I can't exactly reference exactly where in the Bible, but God never calls upon his people, ever. God never calls upon his people to celebrate the death of their enemy. Never, ever in the Bible do I see this. And listen, I'm open and free to be corrected. I'm free to be proven wrong, or open to be proven wrong, for anybody to show me anywhere in the Bible where God references that we should celebrate the death of our enemy. You may have hated Charlie Kirk. You may have disagreed with his beliefs. You may have disagreed with his point of view. In fact, Charlie Kirk was a person who lived as a Christian, somebody who serves God, somebody who loves God, somebody who teaches people to give their lives to Christ, to follow Christ, because he is the way, the truth, and the life, and that no one can get through the Father except through Jesus Christ. This is the things that he preaches to people. These are things that he exhorts people, right? But even if you were not somebody who is a Christian, somebody who isn't somebody who follows living a life that's the way that God wants us to live, even if you're not somebody like this, to celebrate somebody who has been assassinated, celebrating the death of somebody who's been assassinated, it is very telling of the times that we are living in right now. Where I said before, good is looked at as evil, and evil is looked at as good. We are in very, very, very heartbreaking times at this moment. We are in very sad times and unfortunate times at this moment where we are living in a world that is completely filled with evil, filled with it, all the way to the brim. And so, I need you to understand this. Whilst we are living in this moment, in this world, with the condition that it is in right now, remember the verse in Titus chapter 2, verses 13 through 14, where God is, it's only a matter of time before God approaches us and he returns. And when he does so, we are here to wait and patient for his return so that God can receive his people. God can receive all of his people who are followers of him, who live their lives according to him, and are waiting and preparing for his return. Mbeze tout moun pou kompon sa. Nan tan sa na viv kounye, nan le moun nan gen pil moun kap rejoui, na sa ki mal. Na tout sa ki mal, paske nan tan sa nou we kounye, tout sa ki nou we kom si se bon liye, moun kap wel ton kou yon baga ki mal. Et puis tout baga ki mal, gede moun kap wel ton kou yon baga ki bon. Se nan tan sa nan viv kounye, kote anpil moun rejoui nan peche. Anpil moun rejoui nan mauvais action. Parce que ça qui te se passe avec moun sa na collège qui te côté moun sa qui te mouri parce que yo monté assassiné, nous pas connaître si nous kon garder news là côté yon moun qui est Charlie Kirk, yo te assassiné moun sa. Et puis pendant yo te assassiné Charlie Kirk, un pile moun te réjoui sous ça. Yo te tant de nouvelles là, yo gade nouvelles là sur news là, et puis yo tout réjoui nan bagay ça. Moussa qui te yo madame avec deux petites nan pays. Côté lui même li passé, li mouri. Pour qui ça? Parce que moun pas yo pas d'accord avec ça li kon parler avec ça, avec toute politique li représenter, moun pas accepter avec, moun yo pas d'accord avec, et puis peut-être ça yo tuer monsieur. Kounya madame li manque yo mari, et puis tous les deux petites li yo pas gen papa encore. Pour qui ça? Parce que yo pas d'accord avec politique ça moun sa marche avec, ou bien avec politique moun sa représenter, moun pas d'accord, ou bien moun pas accepter. Ça c'est pas une raison pour ta tuer l'autre monde. Nous tous capables tendre ça l'autre monde a dit, ou bien nous tous capables tendre politique l'autre monde, nous pas besoin accepter, ou bien nous pas besoin d'accord avec, mais ça c'est pas une raison pour te capable tuer moun nan. Mais c'est un ça nou ye kounya. This is the moment that we are living in now, where we have to face the reality that people are going to celebrate your death. People are going to despise you and hate you because of your beliefs and what you believe in and what you stand for, whether it be politically, religiously, whatever the case may be. People are just going to be celebrating you simply because of their disagreement with you, which is very sad. It's very unfortunate. And him being a man that he is, a man who is a follower of Christ, a man who pushes for people to love Jesus, to follow Jesus, you're still going to be met with hate. You're still going to be met with vitriol. You're still going to be met with content. No, well, not content, or you're still going to be met with just pure hate and destruction in the lives of people for you. But you have to understand, because I'm sure that Charlie Kirk himself was fully aware of this. I'm sure he was. You have to understand that the people that hate you or the people that despise you because you follow biblical terms, because you follow Jesus, because you spread the good news of Jesus, the people that hate you, understand this. They hated Jesus first. They hated him first. Before they hated you, before they hated Charlie Kirk, they hated him first. So understand that what you're doing, unfortunately, that's how it's going to go. And you're doing something right. You're doing something right, because if you can save one person, if you can direct one person to Jesus, that's all that matters. You're doing your part. And so it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that we are having to witness and see what the world is like after what has happened. But this is the world that we live in. And so I want you guys to hold this verse dear to you in your heart. Again, Titus chapter 2, verses 13 through 14. Encore verset sorti dans Tite chapitre 2, verset 13 à 14. And understand that it's only a matter of time. It is only a matter of time before Jesus returns and receives his people, okay? But while we are waiting, continue to be an advocate for Jesus. Continue to be an advocate for what is right. Continue to be an advocate for what is good, okay? So that's what I wanted to share with you all for today's show. As per usual, I love you guys. Sajazila, thank you for tuning in. I love you. You're the greatest. I really appreciate it. You're the best. Dad, thank you for watching or tuning in as well. You're great, as per usual, and I love you guys. And for everyone that is watching and tuning in on Facebook and YouTube, thank you for tuning in for the show. Please, feel free to share the love. Feel free to share your boy, because your boy needs that recognition. You know what I mean? Your boy needs that recognition. Your boy wants to be put out there so that anybody who's interested can tune in to watch the show. But again, please share the video, and yeah, I really appreciate it. But again, that's the show for today. I'm way over time, but I will see you all again right back here on Tuesday at 12:30. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you guys then. Peace.